did it exactly, but he went there.
Oh, even though I'm supposed to be able to be seen and heard, it's not working right. Oh my, let me go to fix this right now. I have become an Italian man. Up, 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 oppa, oppa, oppa. There we are. Hello. Hi, my beautiful people. The beautiful people, the beautiful people. Ba-da-da-da-da. Oh, let me get this over to the side because I think we're gonna have some music while we do this. Howdy, hey, how's it going? Bienvenue, bienvenidos, bonjour. Meilleurs sont compteurs. I hope everyone's having a wonderful time. Oh, it has been how many days since Friday? So many days since Friday to get us to this point in time. And now that we're actually here, I took some time between streams. I told you guys I would only work on this on the stream. I did mean that. I took some time between streams, though, to double up our map here. Hey, Foxer, how are you, bud? I'm doing pretty fantastic. Welcome to my map making stream. I do maps for Dungeons and Dragons and TTRPGs such as Star Wars RP, Warhammer 40,000, etc. And we're actually working on a sci-fi D&D campaign right now. We're actually focusing at least this live stream on the interiors of ships. It's pretty cool to have you here. I appreciate you. This is actually something that I started there a while ago. I just happened to have the lovely time of going through and doing this. Final stat block might complain it was a secret final boss. Oh boy, my... Dude, I'm gonna be real here. I DM the majority of the time for my groups. I am exactly right there with you. Also, thank you for the follow. It's super appreciated. As you can see, for all of my people who are not new here, you can see the hydrate counter in the bottom left-hand corner. That's right, we're back to it. Also, if you look at the cost of hydrate, it's 500. However, for this stream and this stream only, it's going to be going back down because I hate myself, and I know you all want to see exactly how high you can get it to. So, I'm willing to let you guys do that because, you know, it's still time. Can I show you stat block and tell me what you think about it? Sure, absolutely. It should let you link it in the chat. If it doesn't let you link it in the chat, though, go ahead and hop into the Discord server by using !Discord, and you can just send it to the castle chat there. Yeah, dude, I do 40K maps. I've been wanting to do all right. Oh, you do this in page format. No, I like this. We're gonna look at this together on stream. You give everyone break a sweat. It's a good secret boss. It's hard af, and this will be the final secret boss. Good stuff. So you're okay with this? Hold on. Before I go any further, you're okay with this being up on live stream, right? Like this is gonna be, this is gonna be live. Like it's not like it's not gonna exist at the point in time, you know? Oh, yeah. You're fine with that? Okay. You got, hey, we heard it here first. They're fine with it being up and live. I'm also pulling up, I've unintentionally been streaming this live to YouTube twice over. No intention to, I just have been. Hello, Stinky! Fight me. We're looking at a final boss for someone real quick, and we're looking at, what is it? Hold on real quick. I'm gonna do something real quick. I need to put an outline on this. Gradient background color, select color, black. Okay. I unintentionally gave that like a proper gradient, but I did not intend to, but I'm fine with it. It's harder than the actual final boss. Ooh, good stuff. Not beating the waterfowl allegations. You know, yeah, I may as well give up at this point in time. Just call myself a goose. All right. Let's, I'm gonna do something real fast though, because I promised the viewers I would. Stop, collaborate, and listen. Hydrate's cheaper for those who's cooking. I have to do this one thing real quick, Foxer, and then we will actually we will go ahead and read through this real quick. Because I made a deal, and I hate the fact that I made a deal with my group that if certain events happened, I would lower a cost on Yonk. I would lower the cost on a certain channel point reward. Name a stream. Where's hydrate, please? Edit. Now, I am not making this how it was before, where it was 50. It is going to be 100. Please don't drown me. Because I'd prefer not to drown. But it should be 100 now. But let's go ahead and take a look at this. You wish to fight me, then? The bitter black wind be... Oh, that's him still talking. You wish to fight me, then? The bitter black wind begins to howl. AC 21 arcane armor plus dex. We can appreciate that. 500 HP! Fucking hell! Yeah, dude is a tank. Dude's a big old tank. And that's fine. We're okay with tanks in this chat. They're pretty cool sometimes. 30 feet of movement. Roundtable Merlin, world's soggiest streamer. Hate that. Don't like being called out for being soggy. Speed 30, fly 40, and levitation. Okay, that's pretty good. 12, 20, 26, 24, 20, 18. Ooh. Okay. Saving throws. Yep. Traits, legendary archmage, magic casts spells all without material components. His spells ignore resistance to magic. His spell save DC is 21. Alright. Enemies within 30 feet have disadvantage on saving throws against fear and charm. Okay. Mantle of Judgment passive ability. At the start of combat, roll 1d10 to determine active type. Magus becomes immune to all damage types except the one rolled. Okay. I actually really like this. The Mantle of Judgment passive ability. I really like that. The reason I really like that is because there's not a lot of enemies in D&D who actively go out of their way to, like, not be harmed, like, from several types of damage. Like, you'll get resistance and shit like that, but you won't get someone who will genuinely just go, nope, you need to use this to beat me. And I enjoy that. That's just me. Elatreon element check in D&D. Yep. While active Magus is immune to all other active damage types not currently selected. Fair. Actions. Scythe of Doom, melee weapon attack, plus 10 to hit, reach 5 feet. Hit 3d10 plus 5 necrotic. Target must succeed on DC 20 con save. Special spell save. Magus can cast 1 per turn. Dex save DC 21, 8d10. Con save DC 21. So, lightning to all enemies at 60 feet. Ice to all enemies. So, I would, at least if I were in your shoes and I was doing this off of Google Sheets the way that you are, I would actually specify how these are working unless these are a specific spell type. Like, all of these are line-based, if that makes sense. Right? So, Ice 2, I assume that this is a line because lower down on Dark Bomb you have a radius. But I would specify that higher up, especially if you want this to be used for more. And atop of that, there's actually a fantastic little tool on a website called TetraCube. Which all enemies in 60 feet around Magnus. And actually it's this. If you want your D&D 5e blocks to actually look really good, and please support the people over at TetraCube because this is a fantastic little program. I use it whenever I'm making my homebrew modules and whatnot. This actually is like a complete stat block generator and maker. And you can print these out as like proper cards and post these into books. You have like the full cover and change that you can add for it, and it looks a little bit nicer. Thank you for clarifying that it's 60 feet around. All enemies... Then I would change this from all enemies in 60 feet, because it makes it sound ranged, to all enemies within 60 feet. Because that means that it's a range of 60 feet out coming in towards you. Hey, I love giving people the opportunity to have cooler and cooler tools to use, because D&D is one of those things that everyone can enjoy. Have the link for it. It is all for you guys. I don't mind. It's, you know, like I said, I have to resist. I'm not at my point goal yet. I know, you've still got to make it to 5,000. Wait, what? Unforgettable lamp shadow? Spam detected? Who is this guy? This dude was banned before I even said anything. Like, he even said anything. What? Like, I have nothing in chat saying that. Alright, I guess I'm gonna have to go look at, like, band things later. Hopefully this isn't like fucking Cottontail where someone hits me with, is it roast beef brown or bubblegum pink? Because then I have to tell them it's green. What are you thinking about the boss so far? I think so far the boss is pretty cool. Still reading on, like, through it. Oh, that's literally coming up to the end of it. I skipped the barrier. One moment. Barrier. Grants resistance to all magical damage for 3 turns, does not require concentration. Okay, that's fair. Although, I will ask, does barrier count as a spell? Because, one thing to remember, and this is something that I've learned over 8 years of being a DM, anything like puzzles and whatnot, you should have a, like, turnaround or an ability pass through for all classes. And gaining resistance to all magical damage weakens your, well, you know, actually I guess that doesn't really matter because melee weapons are still, well, no, because if you're using a +1 weapon for the like, it counts as magical, if I recall. Yeah, barrier's pretty good. Dark Mist, DC 21, 60-10 psychic, fail equals disadvantage on the next attack. Alright, so that's like, what is it, True Strike 2014, just slightly better, and we're here for that. That's what we're on our way for. Let's see. Black hole, 1 target, con save DC 21. I remember that the chosen damage is vulnerability, not normal damage. Oh, okay, I gotcha. Con save DC 21, 12d10 force damage, reduced to 50 HP. The target is disintegrated, no effect on a save. Ooh, okay, so this is a save or suck. And if they're reduced to 50 HP or lower, so regardless, so if they're at 50 HP or lower, ooh, that's really high damage. But to be fair, you're wanting this to be stronger than your final boss. It makes sense. Dark Lord's ultimate attack, Dark Matter, 1 a day. 60-foot radius sphere and 150 feet. Okay, so it's a radius sphere that's 60 feet across that he can place anywhere within 150 feet. 21 dex save with 14d10 necrotic, 14d10 psychic. Dead enemies leave shadow echoes that last 1 minute. Magus has advantage on enemies within 10 feet of an echo. Okay, so made by Foxer, do not use without asking first. We can appreciate that. So, if I were in sort of your shoes, right? The few changes I've already kind of discussed here, I'd mention. You said that they're level 5, and obviously I don't know, or level 17. I don't know how stacked they are as a party, but whenever I make a boss, I work of what's called the rule of 3s. So the idea is, with any single player, your highest health player, with the exclusion of feats, a single attack from a boss, if you really want them to be strong in the eyes of a player, should be able to do 1/3 of their health, if not more. But usually 1/3 is where I try to top it out. And it seems like the black hole seems to really be where that's at, as well as the dark matter attack. Because dark matter has multiple effects that stack into each other, and the black hole is just a metric ton of health. And they're level 17. Let's say that they're a barbarian under rolled standards. That's going to be a d12, average out to 6.5 to 7. So if they're level 17, let's say that they're 9 levels at 6. 9 levels at 6, so 9 times 6 is 54, and then the rest of them are at, 7? So 7 times 8 is 50. Brain, please work with me. 7 times 8 is 42. They're a mage, warlock, sorcerer, druid, cleric, and an artificer. Okay, so in this case, you're going to use the cleric, because I believe the cleric gets the most HP. Right? Let's see. 1d8. Okay, so they're d8. So, yeah. And the cleric knows both aid and power word fortify. Gotcha! Cool! Okay. No, I'm here for it. I think this will be a good fight. I do think you may have someone get mad depending on how the players act on the if reduced to 50 HP or lower one, the black hole specifically. Because that acts very similarly to disintegrate. It's just slightly less powerful because they have to be at 50 HP. But they're level 17, they should all be up in the hundreds. Like, it's fine. They should all, I think, with the lowest one being the mage. This is going to be a wizard. It's a D6. I think the lowest they can be is going to be 96 at that level, if I recall. Well, no, because their con, I don't know what their con is. Either way, though, the wizard's really the only one who's really got to worry about that black hole one. because the rest of them are somewhat melee based. I guess kind of the artificer as well, but they can manage. Oh, gotcha. Okay, that explains. Also, I have had the drinky. You all know what that means. Boink. Boink. There we go. Is this working now? Oh, it is working now. Cool. So, today on Map Making 101, we're going over the interiors of ships. It's one of the things that I actually really enjoy, especially because of my Friday night campaigns where we're hosting Race to the Edge. And for those of you who are new here and don't know what Race to the Edge is, it is in fact a science fiction-based adventure that I am hosting for 6 players, all of which come from different fairs and different classes, that seems to be entirely based around political connection, as well as the possibility of external eldritch forces that may be kind of tearing into the world. Besides, he goes solo versus 5. I think that if I gave him minions, it would be unfair. No, that's true. As I'd say, he's strong enough that you shouldn't have to worry about putting any minions or anything like that with him. He should be okay. But continuing how I was just a minute ago, we have actually focused on the medical wing already, which, because this is a ship that's dominated by individuals coming through in their free time and whatnot and hopping in here whenever they need to, we only need the one actual dedicated operating table, a cryopod just in case the players are going to need it, as well as 3 medical beds, because we have 7 people on this ship so far and it's not exactly fun to traverse. Luckily, this is why I'm here. We're changing that for the group. Now, and the most important thing, he's hot. Oh no, he's hot! God, if that wasn't so true. Oh man, that's so funny. That's the thing. You have to make villains hot, or you have to make them... You have to either have to make villains hot, or you have to make villains like actually be a threat. And the problem is, no one's really good at just actually making villains a threat, and it fucks me up. Not even gonna lie. Let me flip this. I want to flip it. Flip. There we go. So, he's just a guy, but have you seen his tits? True! Also, we are still on that goal to make it to 1,000 followers. If any of you have anyone else who you think that would like to come and watch this, please do me a solid, hop through, go grab some people, because I really want to get someone else in to kind of do this with me, in regards to streaming and whatnot. And I think if I actually have more people doing it with me, I'm gonna have a good time. Not in call, you know, just hanging here in chat, because that's the big thing, is getting people in chat. Also, we are live on Twitch and YouTube as well. Kick in YouTube as well. I was gonna go live on Twitter, and then I made the horrifying discovery that you have to pay for it. And I don't know about you guys, but nah, Chief, that ain't it. I'm not paying for fucking Twitter. I refuse. Fun fact: the boss is just chilling in his apprentice dungeon. The lone reason he's an objective is the fact that people live nearby are creeped out because of his power, so the party would pretty much be barging into his home to kill him just because he's scary. So do you have a diplomacy route for the party then? That's like a big one if you've got something like that, because like sometimes a diplomacy route is worth it for stuff like that, at least in my opinion, because I'm very big in the belief. Oh nope, not those. I don't want baby barf green. Sorry, moss green stamps on my page. Sometimes it can be one of those things where actually having the opportunity for diplomacy route leads to like a really cool encounter later on. Or it can lead to them coming back as an NPC in the next campaign and being like more fun for the players to interact with. It's kind of shocking because it does work, just in a bit of a weird manner and way. So, I am thinking that we are actually going to continue with our kitchenette, escape pod area, and the elevator area, because where we had last left off as a group, we had just finished off the medical wing, and we'd also just finished off the concessions area for people to come and relax and whatnot. However, Real fast before we do this, just as a quick note, I will have another ad pop on in about 35 minutes or so. I like to try and keep you guys informed, and I'm actually working on getting a bot right now to kind of post up saying, hey, ads. Don't forget to resubscribe with Prime if you're already in that group. We're at 17 people right now. I know it's a 6 out of 10 new subs, but it's because I got to hit that goal every single time. All right. Here we go. That drink goes down one more as we hydrate. And we go. So, why don't we go ahead and take a look at some kitchenettes. Some futuristic kitchenettes, right? Because like kitchenettes, the whole idea of them is that they're like a small area that people live in. And when you're playing Dungeons and Dragons, this isn't really something that a lot of people thinking, but there's a lot of cooking mini games for tabletop RPGs. It's actually really funny. So, one of the things I like to look at instead of like these sort of modernistic kitchenettes is going to be futuristic kitchenettes. Or you can even find like industrial kitchenettes, like something like this. Oh, it's Adobe stock. Gross. Although to be fair, that's pretty good looking if I'm going to be real here. But it's a matter of finding sort of that middle ground that people are these the same? No, they're not. They just have the same center desk, which I'm not gonna lie, I love that central desk there. So instead of us having our sink and everything over here, we're actually gonna put it over where this little grate here was originally meant to just kind of be a hold, but honestly we don't need that. It's fun having it, but I don't think it's worth it realistically. And we're also going to be using a fun little thing here. Prep table. Have me on for Duozillo. Worst hit stream. Hey, it is what it is. I'm not one to chef's not one to judge. But we can actually take advantage of background features here, which is something I was about to say but hadn't really thought about at the moment. Because all of our stamps here we can make really thin, right? So like I can come through and actually use a point tool. They're already broken the dungeon, so if they do try to back out, like, yeah, well, sorry for killing the people that worked for you and all that, so we're leaving. They're gonna have an absurdly high persuasion saving through DC 40 since the sorcerer has a plus 17 persuasion. What the fuck? Holy shit! All right, fair enough. I was gonna say, I was pretty sure like the most that you could have is like a 15, and then you got books. Well, I guess they're level 17, so they're gonna have stuff to make them like be better than they were, There we go. Back down to 23. Woo! The Wizard of Oz. But the kitchenette area is usually sort of like a dining area, or not like a dining area. It's usually the exact opposite of a dining area. It's usually like an open space that people are able to come through that's sort of connected to an active concession space. So even if I remove this, right, and kitchenette room, right, when you kind of take a look, they're usually sort of nooked into a 20 in charisma plus expertise. Yeah, that'll do it. The +5, +6 would put you at 11. I know that there is a few skills you can get that give you a +3. So, yeah. So most kitchenettes are kind of pulled back in. I guess this does act more like a kitchen. But let's get some tables in here. Kind of having looked at this now. Right? Because we can get some of these darker tables. Round coffee table. No, sir, I don't want your round coffee table. We don't want an Art Deco table. I think that table's a little too flashy, though. I think lab tables would work, but they'd look a little off, We don't want a command table in here. And that'll be the next thing we do is the cockpit. I was thinking on that last night. I was like, what am I going to do after I finish off the kitchen? The cockpit. I do think it's good to convert a standard table in this area, I think is good to convert sort of into a working cook area. So we're going to go ahead and use this. We're going to have it be a bit of an odd space one. Be about 2.5 on both. Yeah. And then we'll put a sink and an oven and a prep table on that. Want to hear the music I prepped for the battle? Sure. I actually, that's one of the things I like to do. I like to get with my viewers and see what everyone wants to do in regards to like music while we stream. So, I don't know. Does everyone else here, because we got 5 people in right now, does everyone else here want to actually listen to some of this? Take a look, listen here. Oh, before I hit play on it, I'm going to wait for everyone else's opinion first. Otherwise, I'll put it in a different tab. Yeah, that doesn't look very good. It looks unattached. At the start, it starts like, you're screwed, but then it's like, you're screwed. Yeah, sounds about right. We like to fuddle with players around here. Makes it a lot of fun. To think I'll be exporting this at like 8K. Nope. Let's see. And we got one last one. We have the oven, we have the prep, and then we have the sink. And that will kind of make up our working area. Oven, prep, sink, and now we need shelves, because they're going to need storage. That's one of the big things. I don't think the others are going to answer. Probably not. We'll just listen to it. Who cares? When it loads. Oh. Very loud. Oh, it's not picking it up. Hold on. One moment. Let me fix this. There we go. Now you should be able to. Ooh. Okay. Okay. No, I love sharing D&D projects and the like. That's pretty good. I'm gonna pause it currently. Oh, I'll wait a moment. Actually, hold on. It sounds like it's going to drop. All right. Now, did you do this yourself, or did you hire someone for this? Did you do that one yourself, or did you hire someone for it? Because that's pretty bop, I'll be honest here. That's pretty good. You got it from the internet? Fair enough. Hey, got it from the internet. Oh, you're running from the English again, you Sorry.
This game.
No, trailer. You gross. Let me skip. There we go. I do have to be careful because if something's copyrighted, I can actually get in quite a bit of trouble. So, you know, currently I'm hoping that that's not the case, at least with that piece, considering you got it from the internet. But it's okay. I'm not too worried about it. Good chunk of the time, even if it is, it will give me like a warning first, you know? So, let's move the kitchenette text here. And move these pieces down. Because we're going to create a work area for people to cook. And we're just going to be vibing. I don't know if you guys hear this chill-ass music going on right now, but we're going to chill. We got about an hour left that I'm able to stream before I have to hop off, because he who, I have to be a responsible adult and get things done. Let him cook. I'm gonna cook. I'm gonna cook. But first, and this is the big issue with when we initially did this. I've done 2 map streams now. These have all been pretty good for just general community building. But they're not something that like I would ever go out of my way to say like we have to do these. What kind of DM do you think I am? I wouldn't know without watching your playstyle. And I refuse to make like I 100% refuse to make that like juncture without watching how people like play in DM. Not because it's like a firm thing that I have to like hold my stand on, but because it's one of those things where it's like if I get it wrong based off the little bit that I know of you. Oh my god, I forgot I had that set up. Never mind, I guess I do have a thing for every hour saying, hey, if you're tired of the ads. But more or less whenever you actually get to well, I'll tell you what I do for these kind of cases then. Oh? Curious now. You've made me interested. Such a shame, the interest is there. I need... The problem is the tables just aren't really good in this one. Like, there's a few that are okay, but like outside of those ones that are okay, there's not really much else. I want to stretch this, actually. I'm going to transform this. Let's see. 100. Stretch. $120 is probably best. Yeah, it's about matches. So here you would have like people relaxing and doing other things. It's not blown up like the other areas. Plus, places like this are normally well lived in, but the party's not really lived in here all too much yet. Currently, they've just kind of been relaxing. Not in a bad way. There's nothing wrong with that. I need some debris. Debris. Actually, I need just random... Oh, cancel. I need random scrap items, actually, to put on the table. Magazines. Boss or secret boss, I always put optional secondary missions that if my players do, they either get warned or get something that makes the enemy weaker. For example, this is their last boss. If they did the secondary mission, an item that made his Mantle of Judgment have 2 vulnerabilities rather than 1 at a time. But they didn't do it, so they're stuck with the final boss, the boss at full power. Okay. Hearing that, right, I would have to say you're probably a much more combat-orientated DM than I am. From what I can read, and from what I understand so far. I am a very combat-orientated DM, personally. You know, I want my players, or not combat, story-orientated, personally. I want my players to have fun, but I also don't want to, like, strangle them with combats. Because when I first got into D&D, that was my biggest problem, is, like, players would play in, like, a combat or something like that, and they'd complain that it was either, like, really hard or they were having problems with it. I was like, well, I can't help much with that, you know? But I have learned what I do and don't like about my methods of DMing. And because of that, I can do better for the future. And that's really all there is to it, you know? Learning what you do best so you can do better for your players. Because at some point in time, you gotta do more for them. What a lovely vase, Incarnate. What a lovely vase. That's definitely what that is. A vase. Not a bong. It definitely isn't a bong. I mean, look at it from the side. Where did you get the whole battle from? I'm curious. What'd you adopt the whole battle from? Groceries broken? Can I just get groceries unbroken? Can I get a normal? Oh god! Trash dumpster big! Big dumpy! Think sort of like a normal sized dumpster. Probably be converted to biofuel realistically. Or biodiesel, you know? No waste bin. Behold. I'm gonna open this, and if I get rickrolled, we're fighting. We're fighting or I'm banning you. It's one of the two. We're figuring that out. Oh! Oh! You know, I probably should have thought of that. That's one of my favorite games. I've not played it in years. That's so funny. Actually. No ban. No ban. Hey guys, Foxer's cool. Foxer's a vibe. Damn, boy, he thick. Who's thick? The garbage can or the who's thick? Oh man. Bernie, look at you being the hype train conductor. Gosh. Where's Tired? That's what confuses me. Where is one of my apprentices? See what happens at the 5-minute mark. It's gorgeous. Yeah? Hold on, we're watching Chrono Trigger a moment. Huh. Gosh, early in-game cutscenes were a thing of beauty. Yeah, I did. We just got through the attack animation. Or I did. I know you guys can't see it. But, you know. It is what it is. What type of floor do you guys think would work best? Like, when I think of kitchen floor, that was it? Yeah, fair enough. When I think of a kitchen floor, I think of, like, soft tile. Like, beige tile. You know? I don't know that's not the case for everyone. That's just the case for me. I don't want to fall in trash can. Don't want an organ tank. Apparently, Sleebj is not on my side right now. I am the big Sleebj. Oh, a washing machine. Honestly, we could do this like a Japanese kitchenette. Where, like, they got a washing machine and dryer in here. Because that is something that, like, you would need on a spaceship. Let's see. I think on Frieza. Gotta be hardwood for you. Hardwood floors. Now, you gotta remember that this is like a spaceship, you know? Like, this is somewhere where, like, the player's gonna actually spend a decent amount of time in. That, I mean, hardwood would be nice, but I don't know if they would have opted for the hardwood floor. Scanner cranes, store counter, power generator. I'm not worried about all that. Is this all industrial? Electric devices. 210 assets and electrical devices? That's crazy. But we're not worried about that right now. Right now... Oh, food. Here we go. They've got to have, like, some random table stuff here. Or, you know, I thought they would, but it doesn't look like it. Clothes rack. Yeah, they wouldn't want that near there. This over here. Should I order a coffee? I think I should. Because I don't know about you guys. I feel like I'm slouching for you. You know? Also, in regards to like achievements from like Twitch and whatnot, we've recently done pretty good actually. We're at 5.6 average viewers. And it's a ball that we are. But it's also a little annoying because we don't really have a whole lot on Twitch/Kick Promoter liked your stream. Oh. Stream chat clip DM for more. Huh. Liking the post but not following. Shame. Shame. I'm gonna grab a coffee real quick. Because as much as I love the idea of just being able to vibe it out, you know, we're gonna go from there. So I think real fast we're gonna go ahead and take care of the floor, right? Because we've already discussed it a little bit. Like wooden tiles, kind of what we're thinking. Oh, framed wood though. I think framed wood would look good. Oh, see, the texture's too big. Hold on. I don't know. What do we think of that? Science Insanity makes a great video about Necromo Nightmare if you haven't checked that out already. I've not. Should I put that on as our background? Because we fixed links. Links are working now. I feel like this is too bright. If that makes sense. Like, I feel like this texture is too bright. Although, it is supposed to be an area where, like, only, like, people go. Like, it's not supposed to be, you know, anything too big or anything like that. Because, like, this is gonna get, like, merged into steel floors. Yeah, I think a creature comfort of wood from, like, a home planet or a planet would be just something people would want. So I think you are correct there. So let's just fill this in. Because it's supposed to be framed wood. So it's supposed to look like slated floors. Dun 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 dun. All right. Yeah, let's go ahead and check out this video real quick. Science Insanity makes a great video about Necromo Nightmare. Science Insanity. Promo Nightmare. Oh, Battletech. Oh, I love Battletech.
We're in the billions of views, and we're a small team.
I don't care about you. Sorry.
It's spooky month, and I've already burned the best.
It's a spooky
month. Scary video.
Oh, also, before I play this, I almost completely forgot. Yo, for all of my people here who are subscribers, we have new emotes. Allow me to show you. Sag. And allow me to show you. One moment. Oh, it's still verifying. Is it still verifying the other ones? Oh, no! Hold on. I can fix this. I can make it work right now. I was in a call for like 6 hours with someone else for... Oh, man, that's funny. Viewer rewards. Power-ups. Emotes. There it is. Pending approval. But it's been approved. Garrot, if you're here. Oh no, it says it was approved by you. Why are you not going? What is it, a pending? Okay. Oh, that's a little weird. Never mind. I'm so sorry. I thought it would be good. But it's just not, apparently. By the way, should I get a Reddit? What does anyone think about Reddit?
But Battletech does.
I've been thinking on it for a little bit now. And it's like, you know, we could get one as like a group. I could start a subreddit and everything like that. Reddit community. Communita. But no, I wasn't really sure. Okay, so now I think we need refrigerators or something that can take the look of a refrigerator. Because let's be honest here, that's going to be one of the big things if you're stuck on a space station. Why are these not bundled together? What? Also, I totally missed a medical fridge. No, I didn't. Okay, I thought I did. So we have one emote. I guess it's taking forever for the other one to pend. Other two to pend. And I didn't even realize it. I apologize. Or we definitely have it right now. There definitely would be an empty plant pot in here. Because fresh air is nice. Right? And the whole point of this is that it looks, you know. Let's see. People cook on the inside. So this would be making sense right there. There we go. Now everything else is taller. Eated burger. You eated burger? Did each aging the edge
does have plenty of other.
I'm not finishing that. Oh boy. So only one of them showing for whatever reason. Bongo Wizard and Cello are both still they're both still pending. It makes me so sad. I don't know why. Emote takes between 3 days to 4 weeks? That's crazy! Dude! Alright, so at best, they get them by Monday. At worst, they don't get them till June. That's awful. I didn't know that. Ugh, everything in its power wants to stop me from doing this. Oh boy, what a time. Hey, do you guys think that we could yeah, I know it is criminal. You guys think we could Incarnate on Twitter and get them to come watch? I think we could get them to do so. I'm gonna go to Twitter real fast and see if I can. Let's just find out. Yo, @Incarnate. Let's see. I'm currently doing a map making 101 on your lovely web program. Could you guys swing by and give us some love? I doubt this is gonna work, but you know what? It'll be funny if it does. I'm just curious. To the Lobotomy Bird app. Yes! To the Lobotomy Bird! Caca! Caca! Alright, let's get a rug. Oh, man. You guys should not make me want to laugh as hard as I do in regards to things. I don't even know if they have a thing, because, like, they have... I know they have, like, a whole thing for, like, people messaging them, but I don't know how much they actually care, you know? Like, some of those places really do care, and some of them really don't. I don't know how they feel about it. To be fair, I have messaged to them a lot on their forums. I would be shocked. Like, very genuinely, I'd be shocked if they were mad at me for adding them. Sorry, I'm so sad. What a good time, what a good time, what a good time. Oh my god, we got a notification. What? Huh. You know what's crazy? I have targeted promotion contactors like recently shooting messages like at me or like liking my content. Kind of crazy to me. Oh well. I'm not dying. Oh, all right. Let's get back to this. But I think after this kitchenette, I think that we're gonna move to escape pods over here. I'm gonna turn this into the escape pod area. But we have a lot of empty space in here I want to do something with. But we already have like our concessions for people to eat at and shit, you know? Oh, maybe that's why, because I shrunk everything down so fucking much. Hold on. Sinks are usually 3 feet across, so that should be accurate to size. Hold on here. Guys, we've fucked up big time. I'm so sorry. We've fucked this up so bad. This needs to be like two blocks each. Hold on. Um, hi everyone, my name's Merlin. The strange being at Raid Shadow Legends having to like hands eaten. What? What the fuck are you on about? What? An oven handle on it? Oh, it does. Oh, I have to turn this around. Scrot, you're gonna have to clarify on that a whole lot more for me, please. For the normal people here. Don't just catface me. It's even worse when you do that. It makes me worry. What type of things are we getting ourselves into here, Chief? Gosh. Let's see. We're to put this on the bottom here. Yeah. Now we can put this up here. All right, wink at me. Sure. Sure, whatever. I guess. You're your own person. Who am I to stop you? Not me. It's not my place to. This does still work as a area where they actually have to worry about certain electronic panels, though. So I think we need to have some servers in here. Not serving robots. Where is... We put them in the basement. There's more, I promise. Oh, boy. Let me go back to looking at the channel real quick. Go. Ugh. Saw that attack anime. Oh. Alright, we're gonna go ahead and actually listen to the Necromo Nightmare Battletech creepiest horror story, because honestly, I really like Battletech stuff.
Their horror stories and scary shenanigans to choose from. This time around, though, we're talking
Also,
about what is, in
because
my
why not?
opinion, the
You know, we don't got
single
nothing better
scariest
going on
thing on
besides
offer.
map making.
Not because it's some eldritch
So,
monstrosity
don't mind me.
like
I'm gonna be
Black
a
Marauder,
little
no,
quiet,
because
but,
those
you know,
ghost
nothing bad.
stories are just that. Questionably or entirely non-canon funny stories that are just neat little additions to Battletech's
Put a little Art
roster.
Deco piece
But
in
this
here.
one,
Nah.
the Chromo Nightmare, not only is it entirely canon, but the ending was never fully confirmed, which means that nobody actually knows how this potential end-of-the-universe story turned out.
Dishwasher?
So settle in and get ready to learn about how the Word of Blake unleashed a horrific bioweapon, how the Capellans lost control of
Why
something
dishwasher?
far more malicious and intelligent, and how nobody knows if these horrors
Wash
escaped
dish-
the dying
dish wash
world of
wash?
Necromo.
Wash
Also, this was a
dishwash.
Capellan black site, so once again, in the long tradition of Battletech, every
I don't want a gas stove, so
amazing.
we wouldn't have one here.
Staying on brand even in these dark times. Before we actually get into things, though, if you end up enjoying
Let's
the video,
see.
consider leaving a like.
What can we
or dropping a
actually
sub.
find?
It really does help a smaller channel like this out, and I'd appreciate it greatly. And with that, let's
Add
start with some
time,
background.
add time.
What is the world of Necromo, and why is it so important? For most of its life, all the way back to the Age of War pre-Star League, Necromo was a sparsely populated but important shipyard world. Needing to import everything to function, Necromo housed a large shipyard that produced everything from dropships to capital-class warships. During the Succession Wars, it was bombed back into the Stone Age and raided countless times since, yeah, it was a historically important military complex. eventually being reduced to mostly rubble and ruins. The Capellan state, however, turned the destruction to their favor, officially classifying Necromo as empty and abandoned. This was to hide what was actually
There we
going
go.
on and convince everyone from Comstar to
Bonk.
other great houses to kind of piss off and not investigate any further. In secret, the Capellan state rebuilt most of the shipbuilding infrastructure.
Server
With
X.
the loss of technology from the Forever War
That's not
raging
right.
across the Inner Sphere, they lost the ability to produce any of the more advanced vessels. But Necromo was still a vital dropship manufacturing hub. The Capellan Secret Service even enforced a total blackout of the world. Anyone who worked there were screened to be only
whoops.
the most fanatically loyal and were entirely cut off from the rest of the Inner Sphere. No information or travel in or out. Everything done under absolute secrecy. And because of this, the planet gradually morphed from a dropship manufacturing hub into a research and development black site. It still did its main job of shipbuilding, but over time everything
Oh,
from
boy.
bioweapons research
By the by,
development
for those of you who have seen it,
engineering
what did you
more
guys think of the last
advanced than
session of
most
Race to the
versions
Edge?
had happened.
For those of you who
When
sat
the
in or listened to
technology
it.
rebuild warships started to trickle across the Inner Sphere again after the clan invasion.
Because
Necromo
that's something that I want to do a little
served
bit more
as
of,
the
is
primary hub
like
that
hosting
Capellans
D&D for people and
used to
whatnot.
build their new fleets. Unfortunately, though, it had been built up so much and become so vital that it was
But
impossible.
I always
to
like
hide the world
opinions first,
anymore.
though.
And when the Word of Blake launched their genocidal assault against the entirety of the Inner Sphere, Necromo was one of the world's targets. In a
Metal
lightning wave,
bookshelves.
the Word of Blake obliterated the orbital shipyards in nuclear fire, bombarding the world itself with asteroids and saturating the atmosphere with enough bioweapons and chemicals to render the world sterile for centuries. In days, the world went completely dark, so fast that not a single call for help could be transmitted out, and any investigations that the Capellans sent in the months after simply
see.
disappeared onto the world that had become at this point a black
Need a
hole.
break from the
And any
ads?
investigations
Wow.
that were sent simply disappeared onto the world that had become a void by this point. Reiterating, again, Necromo Nightmare is fully canon module for the Battletech role-playing game, so the story
Love
starts with player
Battletech.
characters, a group of mercs specialized
The
in
Battletech
covert
role-playing
investigation and recovery
game.
efforts
It's
are
like,
set
yes,
to
we
the
know.
planet.
That's why we're
Upon
here.
arrival, they find the remains of the once great orbital shipyards.
I'd
A
love to talk
massive
more, but I'm
debris
writing and I get
blanketing
violent
the
motion
world
sickness if
while
I look at my
Kessler
phone too much.
syndrome makes
Totally
every
fine.
inch
Not a worry at all.
extremely
We understand.
difficult.
We
More
don't
worrying
judge people for
still
violent
is that
motion
the world is
sickness.
entirely silent. The once vibrant power signatures and bustling comms traffic of the planet.
That is not something you'll have to worry about here.
Entirely gone. In its place were what could only be described as whispers, faint power signatures.
We're just
that faded
chillaxing,
as
though.
they
Just
appeared,
listening, you know?
brief bursts of static that carried comm signatures and codes that had no source and may simply have been echoes bouncing across the orbital debris. And across the world, the Earth-like atmosphere and biosphere was replaced with a sickly, brackish green as the mass death of plant and animal life was visible from orbit. Upon making landfall and successfully avoiding
Maybe an
any
island.
debris, the mercenary corps deployed only to find strange and
An
horrific
island would be
sights.
good for this.
Animals and people dead, but not just from the ambient poisons, ripped apart. Not mindlessly either, but actively damaged like something was trying to kill it deader than dead. Heads smashed in, necks snapped, chest cavities crushed.
There you go.
It wasn't
Yeah, I
just
think that works
random
best as sort of an
violence, it
island
was
piece.
Intentional. The source soon revealing itself. Zombies.
Little
Because
statue.
of course, but Battletech has a rather terrifying spin on this. The bioweapons that the Word
What's
of
the
Blake
Battletech
used
spin
went
on this? What?
wrong. Normally, they were supposed to kill the people infected, targeting only the
What?
population and leaving the world mostly intact.
I didn't even realize Battletech had a spin on
For
zombies. I'll
something
be
about
honest here.
Chromo, something was just wrong with it. Maybe it was a breach of an on-world chemical
Wall
weapons or
props.
research by the Capellans.
I sure hope
Maybe
it
was some
does.
local bacteria that simply wasn't accounted for. However it happened, the Word of Blake's bioweapons instead turned the people into monsters. It entirely suppressed.
I just have
higher
breakfast
functions,
burrito here that I'm like, nom towards.
Most radically infected
I've not like touched it yet because I've been eating slow because I have a hernia, I'm pretty sure.
Late-stage infection. Worse was
So,
while they were still functionally
as
driven
it sits
mad,
currently, I've been
these
not really
zombies
eating
still
quickly because I
retained
want to
much of
ensure that
their
the hernia
knowledge
doesn't
and
like
skill.
spread.
It's hard to explain,
Um,
so instead let me just make
or
an
get
easy
larger.
comparison. They're the
But
zombies
Monday
from
I'm gonna go
World
get it
War
checked
Z,
out.
The terrible new movie, not the amazing book.
Because it
They
is
sprint at you like
much
a
easier to
ghost
wait and
behind
come
a
back to
Denny's,
something
but
than to
what's
just
worse is
go
they
in
can
one
still
one go.
use the tools that a person could. Guns, melee weapons, all of that
you know.
stuff. these zombies have most of the arsenal that a normal uninfected.
Now that does not look like a tray of
They're
food
not
to
at
me.
all
That looks like a
comfortable
prep
using
tray.
them. They're sort of like 40k orcs.
They can
where
pilot
swing
mechs too.
wildly
Oh
at you,
fuck,
whatever they
dude.
happen to be holding.
Fuck
But you
that.
can make use of these
A
tools,
zombie that can
which
pilot a
means
mech.
that
Fuck
barricading
that.
yourself behind closed doors won't
You know?
work. If they know you're there, they're more than able to open the doors and push past any barricades, and in some cases find workarounds.
Hate
like climbing
that.
on top of the building and
Hate
smashing in the
that.
skylights to get to you. And the worst part, the fucking worst part, is that while they're still a ravenous zombie horde, they are capable of some coordination and teamwork. Because if you're not careful, if you're not paying attention, the dropship that you rode in on can be entirely swarmed and overwhelmed by the hordes of variable, debatable undead monsters that rush in through the mech bay and climb all throughout the ship, through every passage and corridor, butchering your crew and infecting everyone else, rendering that ship
Damn, that's
entirely
crazy.
unusable to escape. And oh, don't worry, it gets worse. Because, ladies and gentlemen, sometimes, if they're very lucky, or they've got some fancy military gear in that noggin of theirs, some of these undead monsters can retain enough skill to keep using the military weapons that they were trained in before becoming this. And worse
Oh, so
of
it's
all,
more than
mech
just
warriors
mechs.
trapped in the cockpits of their vehicles after the environmental seals were breached, or if they were simply unlucky enough to have left the window open when the first initial strikes happened, their link to the mech through the neuro helmet meant that they were still fully capable of piloting their vehicle. Which leads to some truly fucking horrific scenes. Because even when these mechs are damaged or destroyed beyond repair, unless the pilot or reactor is dead, they're not going down. Cut the legs off an infected mech, and Christ, yeah, we have zombie mechs now. The pilot will continue screaming
Hate
rage
that.
when it comes,
We have
but
zombie
the machine
mechs
can
now.
grab
Hate
itself
that.
by its arms, or aim its weapons at you to continue firing while it's hunched over on the ground. Even if they're out of ammo, these mech warriors and their proto-mechs and smaller vehicles, whatever they had, they'll simply charge you, trying to bash you to pieces, or if you're outside of your mech in many of the on-foot sections of the module, simply crush you to death by stepping on you. Zombie mechs. Come on, man. That's some peak Halloween garbage. This is some pure
That's cool as shit,
prime-cut
though.
science fiction ham. It's great. The only saving grace for this is that many of the infected don't seem to be able to identify each other. So sometime hordes of them will be seen fighting infected mech warriors or vice versa, or, you know, an officer or something will
I think
just
this
be
is good
ambushed
for
and killing
sort of
thousands
a-
by accident, and
like an actual,
generally they'll just get in each other's
Let me
way a
pause
lot.
this real fast because I'm
brief
losing my train
lesson.
of thought listening to the video. I think this is actually good for sort of a kitchenette area where you can actually still see like the use, like kitchen wise for it. Plus, if I do this and I move that over a little bit, if I move the table with the statuette over just a little bit, there we go. Yeah, I think that that is good enough, at least in regards to like a general look, because like you can tell what the use is for it, you know. So if I go to the layers here and I bring this up, I guess even if I bring it up, it's kind of hard to see. So let me do this. Yeah. So even bringing it up though, I mean, this is more than enough area for them to kind of get by. And put this back down. Grab. There we are. Yeah, it'll stay over there. Now, I hate the fact that they can actually pilot like the items that they still, like the equipment they were using before they died. Like, to me, that's a little that's frustrating. One of those things is just like, oh, I don't really know. You know? Alright, let's go ahead and continue this.
To be sure, but I mean, if you're nearby, you're just as likely.
So,
to
that
be
is the
corrupted.
kitchenette done.
There's also the issue that you cannot, at any point, for any
Now we need to
reason,
do the
suffer
escape pods.
punctures or exposure to the environment. Even worse than normal, because normally
Hmm.
zombies have to like bite you or scratch you or something.
Actually, I need to use the restroom. Kind of badly. I'm going to do this. You guys can continue watching this while I do this real fast, and I will return shortly. Oh, actually, hold that thought. I may not. I may have to hold off for a moment. Oh, they've already checked out. They're on their way over to me. Okay, I will hold off because I believe in controlling my gut. Die. Others who all liked my post. Can I see who liked my post? Can I like my own post? I can. Why would I like my own post though? That's egotistical. I probably wanna anyway, so. Did Twitch like my post? What? Time out here. Oh no, it's the promoter dude. I was about to go, that's fucking crazy!
But on Necromo,
We're actually going to keep on with this because my Java drink is on the way, and we'll actually go ahead and do a stream break. We'll do like a be right back for that.
Communications you've been receiving. You see, the entire time that you've been running through this hellscape, trying to get past all of this to figure out
we have the lovely time here now of the escape pods.
Way to escape if you lost your dropship. You've been getting talked
So there's
at
8
by
pods.
John Carpenter's Bumblebee. At random, you'll receive burst transmissions that consist of segments of other people talking, like they took recordings and strung them together to make coherent sentences the same way that Bumblebee does with recordings in Transformers. And when I said coherent, I lied. That comes a little bit later. It's a mix of utter gibberish and angry ranting at first, as well
Utter
as
gibberish,
frankly,
angry
screaming in rage over the comms. Because it turns out, the Capellans did the biggest fucking no-no of all time. You see, the ancient Star League had something called an SDS, or Space Defense System. These were fully automated networks of drones, space stations, and orbital weapons emplacements, so powerful and competent that they could rival and defeat the greatest fleets of ships ever assembled. Earth itself had an SDS called the Caspar, so powerful that during the Star League Civil War, pretty much everything the Star League Navy had was thrown against it in one final climactic battle to end the war, and the Earth SDS still inflicted horrific casualties. The Capellans, not understanding shit about how the Caspar AI system actually worked, simply copied the code from destroyed fragments and remnants of the old system and then tried to jury-rig it to control mechs instead of drone warships. It could not, so they proceeded to fiddle with it, adding more and more capabilities as time went on. It couldn't control the mechs, so they copied the Neurohelm interface so it could. It couldn't properly identify enemy combatants, so they added ramshackle ID software and sensor systems to it. On and on this went until the program they had created escaped containment. Because as it had turned out, they created a dumb AI whose only purpose was to kill, not a full AI.
Oh god.
This thing wasn't Cortana, meaning that it was just as good as something like Cortana or EDI from Mass Effect, but it lacked the scope. It could only perform in specific areas it was designed to, and the Capellans had specifically designed it to control entire armies, bypass and subvert computer systems, execute every strategic and tactical move humanity had ever devised, and then gave it the overall drive to utterly destroy their enemies.
Chevy Equinox EV.
Sorry, Chevy. No ads for you here. I'm not gonna lie, that's kind of crazy.
Which they never fully defined in its code. So even before the Word of Blake ram-fucked the planet with asteroids and WMDs, the Broken, as it came to be known, was learning, adapting. It even managed to take control of the black site it was stationed at, Fort Aberdeen, before the Word of Blake showed up. As it became more competent, it also started employing more advanced strategies, pretending to shut down when command codes were sent to self-terminate, only to turn back on and kill the entire team sent to stop it. Networking the sensors and targeting systems of every turret, drone, mech, and sensor pylon it had, meaning ECM and stealth were entirely worthless against it. It used those predictive algorithms and the incredibly powerful targeting suites that they had given it to accurately target and shoot down aircraft far farther away than it had any right to, and preemptively stopped any potential to bombard it out of existence. It even lost its shit at one point and determined that every Capellan was now a traitor to the Capellan state because they were trying to stop it. And when I say every Capellan, I mean every Capellan. There were no innocents anymore. There were no allies. Everything is an enemy. This AI, is a world-ending threat, because it has no concept of warfare besides total annihilation. It won't hesitate to simply nuke an entire planet if it can. It won't hesitate to vent the air from an entire moon colony because that's just easier than fighting over it. It takes over mechs, even piloted ones, by simply overloading the neurohelm and burning out the brain of the pilot. This thing only exists to kill, and it's utterly sociopathic in how it goes about it. Over the course of the story, the AI, like I said, which comes to be known as the Broken, is such a huge threat that not only does your Merc unit, but the surviving Word of Blake forces that got trapped on the planet, remaining Capellan forces, everyone really, all work together under this tense alliance to try and fight this thing and stop it. Because as much as the AI loves running amok in a world like Necromo, it wants out. Specifically, it wants to go on the warpath. You see, before everybody died, the remaining Capellan scientists and engineers sabotaged every dropship and shuttle. There's no way off the planet anymore if your dropship is overrun by the rage zombies. You have no choice but to head deeper in, directly towards the last salvageable Union-class dropship on the world, in the heart of Fort Aberdeen. But you better be careful, since the first chance it gets, the AI will purge life support from the ship, vent your mechs to the outside atmosphere, or simply kill you with its horde of drones once it's got what it's wanted. And the best part is, like I've said, there's no canon ending to this roleplay module. Nobody knows whether the Broken escaped or was forever locked on this dead world until the last power source burned out, or whether it was destroyed and the heroes escaped. But this opens the scariest possibility ever.
Not gonna lie, that's fucking wild.
It can just cut up its code, copy it all, paste it into a transmission like a Trojan or a virus, and then send it off through an HPG pulse to be reassembled wherever it's received. Just like a normal virus sent through email or anything else. All it needs is a single hyperpulse generator on any moon, or any planet, or any backwater space station, and it can copy and transfer itself across the entire network immediately afterwards. And since Comstar and the Word of Blake had no idea what this thing is or what they were dealing with, nobody, except maybe the clan homeworlds, would be out of this thing's reach. The Broken isn't some regional threat, or some potential planet-ending catastrophe. This rogue AI is the end of BattleTech as a setting. For 40k fans, this is the fucking Men of Iron Rebellion and the beginning of the Dark Ages, and it's spooky as shit. Because normally AI are logical. They're calculating. You know, your HAL 9000s and Terminators, or they're really smart and they're almost human-like, and they're generally kind of good guys. You know, you've got your Cortanas and your Edis and stuff. But the Broken is, in every sense of the term, violently insane. A Frankenstein's monster of different codes that even its creators don't understand. And the only direction it's even able to learn in is military and cyber warfare. So unlike some stories where an AI becomes sentient and makes peace, the Broken never will. It will never learn anything other than how to more effectively kill. And I just find that so much scarier than most AI horror stories. So yeah, Necromo Nightmare, BattleTech's very own spooky, scary zombie mech apocalypse story. Happy Halloween and spooky month, everybody. Enjoy the idea of this thing kicking around in the funny mech setting. And before I fully end out, huge thanks to all the people that supported the channel. The arms dealers making it possible to get hands-on experience with all the toys in today's episode. How the fuck they got onto and off of Necromo, I don't know, but thanks guys. To the food merchants fending off Star.
That's fucking crazy. That's actually insane. That also works really similarly to an enemy I had for my old D&D campaign setting. Because I used to have a D&D campaign setting that was, you were trying to stop basically a machine that was left by gods. And the whole point of the machine was that it did, like, it, like, ensured that works, that, like, it ensured that pretty much everything, like, worked properly together. But we finished our kitchenette. And now that we have finished the kitchenette, I'm going to move into us actually doing sort of this escape pod room real quick. This isn't nothing big, you know? You know, this is all something that, like, one and done, doesn't need to be huge. I'm going to use this chimneys unit for the cargo hold, but, you know, we're not worried about that. And I actually have to continue working on this once we finish out with this. because I have D&D where they need this map real soon. So this will be for Friday, hopefully. I may see if I can get out of work a little early on Friday to do that. But for now, let's go ahead and get we're looking for computers. You know, I know this is a cash register, but honestly, you don't have to use it like one. I think that's the best part. It's the Nino Burrito bit. Let's see. This needs to go somewhere where it's out of the way, but... Oh. Honestly, fair enough. Now we need a floor, and we need a rack. Rack. And this is the fun part, because, like, the idea is that each of the escape pod areas, there's, you know, computers doing, like, calculations for where everything's gonna land and all of that jazz. But after we do this, we'll do the outer wing bits here. But realistically, we only have about 15 minutes left on stream. So I may end up ending stream a little early because my stomach's not feeling the greatest. Normally I wouldn't, and I would keep on going. But because of the possibility of a hernia, I don't want to induce stress. You know, and that was one of the big things that I was suggested or told not to do. They were like, if you're doing something that you believe can have, like, cause stress to occur, like, stop. And I think pushing past, like, where I was going to take a break here in just a moment, I think that will. So let's figure out a floor real fast, because then we'll have finished this whole thing. And a wood floor is nice, but a wood floor is not what you would use in a... A wood floor is not what you would use inside of an escape pod room. You're gonna have caution lines. That's a given. Right, so we're having them regardless of circumstance. Right? You're also gonna have... I need to actually put something underneath it, though. We're gonna have concrete, but we've done... worn pavement. How good does worn pavement look? No, worn pavement's not the... That's not the taste. Technical carpet. No, this would be like a vinyl. Right? I'm trying to think on it. I think it'd be like a vinyl, or it'd be like a more durable material. I don't think it'd be concrete, though. If it were, I think it'd have something above it. So what about hatched metal? No, because that's gridded. Oh, wait. What if we do dark glass? Right? Actually, you know what? I know what we're going to do. We're going to do wires with glass atop of it, like we've done for the reactor rooms. We're going to shrink all this, though. And then we'll put glass atop of this, and we'll leave the caution lines. Right? So now if I come to glass, and I lower the opacity. Raise it a bit more. So now we actually have sort of like a glass layer underneath, and I think actually I'll re-up those caution lines and wires a little bit. I think the wires will lower the little coloration on. Make it a bit more clear underneath the glass, you know? I actually don't want that going on. Yeah, that's what we'll do. There we go. Now it actually looks like a steel floor, steel or covered floor with like a glass awning. And then on the next floors, we actually have stacks. If I go into stamps, in stamps, we actually have, what's it? Not trash cans. I think it was a chimney. Yeah. We have these round chimney stacks. These unlit chimneys. I think that these would work really well as sort of an escape pod tube. Right? So I'll put one right here. And then there was a vent cover. Yeah, here we go. And put this on top of it. Yeah. I think that's the look. I think that's the look for if the tube's been used. What do y'all think? I don't know. That'll be up to you guys. I think for now, I'm going to go ahead and make this a group. Create group. Escape pod tube. I'm actually going to move this up to this. Because they're going to be using one of these tubes next session, Friday. Like literally at the start of the session they're supposed to be. I'm going to save one for that one. And then I think we're going to go from there. But we have done a little over 200 changes inside of the big ship. Which is totally fine. That's what I wanted. I wanted us to use a lot of space for everything. I actually didn't think about that, but it looks really good. Fantastic! See, that's what I like to hear. That's what I was wanting. But so we've come towards the end of our stream. So I'm going to go ahead and fill you in on what exactly is going on. So, as you all know, I have been kind of trying to get to more and more followers. I'm really trying to hit more than 1,000. You know, that's the goal. The goal is before the end of the year, I want to hit 1,000 followers. And if I can get more than that, cool. But if I can't, I'm not going to die. I am in the realistic expectation that it's going to take me about 2 years to hit to the point where I will fully be able to do this full time. Right? But I have series I want to do for YouTube. And the next big series I want to do is a series that I'm calling The Platinum Path. I have a little over 800 games on Steam that I have not gotten all of the achievements on. And I grew up playing PlayStation. And on PlayStation, you get an achievement for completing a game at 100%. Platinum Trophy. Everyone knows this. There are people who pride themselves in being able to do this. I found a lovely little program that allows me to kind of copy what it is, the PlayStation achievement style. And I've decided that my Sundays, not this Sunday or the next one, but my Sundays starting on the 1st of July, or June, sorry, with the exclusion of a time that I make my way to a convention over in Indiana, will actually be spent doing platinum playthroughs of games, where we will purely be playing through them to try and actually get to a platinum trophy or 100% completion of a game. I was going to stream that here, record it, and then upload it. I figured you guys might like that. And then as for everything else, we're going to kind of go from there. But that's pretty much it in regards to announcements I had. I didn't really have any more. I hope to see you guys on Tuesday whenever we actually start playing through Halo Combat Evolved. I am currently looking at getting the Halo 3 ODST or Halo 3 Combat Evolved mod, so that way I can play Halo 3 Combat Evolved with 4 friends, and we're going to play it over the course of a few weeks. So, it is what it is. Either way, thank you guys so much for tuning in. I appreciate having you all here. Normally I would say good night and good luck, however it's middle of the day, so go outside, enjoy the sunshine. If you're riding in a car, please be sure to enjoy your time. Thank you so much for tuning in, and remember everyone, I'll catch you Tuesday. Bye-bye!